Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Travel Bookmark Vietnam Part 3. I hope you like this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe. That will encourage me to make more videos. So this is a little bit recap of my previous video. We were in Hanoi and the day we spent in Ninh Binh. This is the next day and this day we are going to Halong Bay. We were picked up at 8:30 from Quarter and the first stop we had was the Pearl Factory. So here they show how the pearls are made. They are actually having oyster right in front of us and removing pearls. So it's the genuineness that is what they have in this particular factory, and all the jewelries inside are genuine, and they even give you a certificate to confirm that. We were not allowed to take videos, so I couldn't show the jewelry, but they were beautiful and elegant. This particular factory is on the way. There are toilets as well, so if you want to stop by, use some toilets, you can, and also visit this factory. There's no charge for it, it's free, and this was a stopover for us before we reached the Halong Bay. So after having a good glance over here, we headed for Halong Bay terminal. So the terminal tickets were also included. We reached the terminal and our boat ride or the cruise ride started at 10:30. So this is our terminal. We have reached and we are going to board soon. This is the first stop where you come. So in case if you don't want to take the tour, you can come directly here. It's 3.5 hours drive, but I'll still recommend you take the tour because then it's easy. They have many cruises and there are a number of options you can book from. This is our cruise, which was a day cruise, includes lunch. It was a buffet style lunch. I couldn't shoot it because there were a lot of people there. So when I was making all these bookings, I also saw there was an option to stay over. It's $198 to stay in cruise. So whatever we are doing in a day trip, you can do by staying a night over in the cruise itself. It's the same thing. You don't do anything different. It's more relaxing because then you have a night to spend and you're not going anywhere and you're not driving back 3 hours. So this is an option. If you have more time in Hanoi, you can. But if you don't, a day trip is not bad and it's not too exhausting because in our day trip we're only going to have 3 stops and I'm going to show you. So the first stop is where we go on the biggest cave that they have on Halong Bay. So we've reached our first stop and we are heading to the longest cave that they have. Just a tip, there's 140 steps, so if you're medically not fit, I wouldn't recommend you to do these steps, or else be prepared that you're going to climb that much. The whole cave is so crowded when you go in, so you won't have much time to stop. So this is the first chamber when you enter. This is how it looks, and it's very different when you're seeing with your own eyes and when you see it in the camera. Of course, the difference is always there, but when you see, it's so pretty. It feels like the entire cave was carved by ocean itself because you can see the imprints of the ocean in there. So there are in total 3 chambers. We are in the first chamber and now we're heading to the second chamber. So the third chamber is which is the most beautiful chamber because that's where you can see on the ceiling the imprints of the ocean and the sunlight that turns blue. That's the whole attraction. So stop by on the third chamber and look at it. It's really beautiful. So this is the third chamber I was talking about. The pathway looks so pretty. They've put a lot of lamps there, and this is the place where the whole attraction starts because you can see the imprints and the sunlight. So if you go and see the ceiling, you can see there are some waves on the ceiling. That's actually ocean. So when the ocean left, it left its imprint on those caves, and that's why they have this design on the ceiling. And if you see those blue light, that's the sun rays. So it's very pretty. This is our second stop. So we went back and now the second stop is another area where you have an option to take a speedboat. It's an additional cost. I would recommend not to do it because there was nothing great that I felt like I missed. It was just an experience. I did it. So we went and saw all the aisles. The total 148 aisles is what we saw in the speedboat, and it costed us 150 dong, which we gave for it. So entire tour has 3 stops. The first stop was the chamber, which we went before, and this is the second stop where we came for speedboat. So basically you can come here and do kayaking and a little bit of wooden boat. We did the speedboat because it was an additional cost and I wanted to experience, but trust me, don't pay for it. It's not worth it. You don't want to do it. After the speedboat ride, we headed for a kayaking and the wooden boat, which is included. So if you wish to do kayaking and you don't know how to do kayaking, they also tell you how to do it. But just a tip, when you go for kayaking, please make sure you're carrying an extra pair of trousers or shorts because when you do kayaking, it's very obvious that you're gonna get wet while you do it because the water does come in the boat. So it's a bit of a tip that you should carry an extra clothes with you. Regardless of cruise or speedboat, the view is just amazing. Now we're heading to the kayaking part. So you can see a lot of people do kayaking and some people in that long boats. So I chose to go in long boat and not kayaking because I wasn't comfortable with kayaking, but you always have an option, like I said before.
Years later.
So after this particular stop, there's only the third stop which is left, where you do the hike. There are 400 steps that you climb up and then you see the view. Just a heads up, it's too hot, too humid. Only if you're feeling fit and only if you are comfortable, then only take that hike, or else the hike is not worth it, because it's nothing new that you see, because you've been seeing it from all those points. Or there's an option to go to the beach, as you can see, and then we headed back. Like I said, there was like a 3.5 hour drive back. So Halong Bay is about 3.5 hour away from Hanoi, and we headed back. And long drive. So it was very exhausting, but it was a worth it day trip. But I'll still recommend you to do day trip rather than staying over, because it's just an extra money that you spend. This was our last day in Hanoi as well, because next day we are leaving for Da Nang again. So we are planning to go back to Da Nang because the return flight is from Da Nang. So we headed back there, and this time we stayed in a different hotel and not the hotel we stayed in our first vlog, which was in Hanoi. So instead of staying in Hanoi, we stayed in Da Nang itself, and the hotel that we booked this time was the Grand Mercure. It's again an Accor hotel where we got a very good deal. This again, like I said, the hotel is not as good as the one which we had in the first vlog, but this hotel was beautiful as well. Our room was on 10th floor and the view was amazing. This is a vanity, and it's not a bad hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. It had the breakfast included in our package, and the view was just very pretty. Of course, because of the reflection I can't show you, but look at that bridge, so pretty. This was right in the center of the city, so all our tours next from here is gonna be picked up from the hotel itself. Very central, the market is very close by, so it's a very centralized hotel, and this is the reason we chose this hotel. Look at the lobby, it's just beautiful.
The next day.
So this is the next day. We are heading for another trip, and we came to have a breakfast waiting in a lobby to be picked up, and in our next vlog we'll tell you where we are going, and that will be the last vlog in Vietnam, because that would be our last day in Vietnam. I hope you like this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe.